Well, gang, here we are. The thermometer that I put in the back of my truck on the way up here is showing 110. I don't know if that's gonna end up showing up on camera or not. Yeah, it's warm, but I knew that, so we're gonna do what we can and have fun. Got a little experiment that I wanted to do today. Obviously, you probably saw by the title or the thumbnail, but I did this a couple of years ago, I think, where I tested to see if I could run, at the time it was my truck shell, but this time I'm gonna try to run my mini camper solely off a battery, and that includes running my air conditioning unit basically from now until tomorrow when I leave. That's what we're gonna do for this episode. I am not at an electric site. Obviously, if you can see, I am at site 82. 20 feet over here is the lake. It is immensely crazy windy today, which is good and bad. It's good because it kind of, you know, helps the convection oven feel. Bad because it's gonna play havoc on my awning, and I've got to throw my awning out with it being so hot. I need a place to kind of escape to under the shade. And speaking of shade, there is absolutely zero shade where I am at. There are no trees around me. My camper is just gonna sit here and bake, which is going to make this little experiment even more difficult. But let me show you how we're gonna get this setup going, and hopefully it's gonna work. Okay, I think my first problem is going to be keeping my camera from overheating. Let's see if I can get that in focus now. 100 and, are you gonna show up? Probably not. 110, lovely day. So we got the cooler. I need to get this out and eventually stick over here. But here's, I gotta get in the back, and my gosh, that is way back there. Jeez. So we're using a battery, and this battery weighs 97 pounds. So it is a beast to lug around. This is so silly. Okay, there we go. So here is what we have to power the entire trip this evening. Now, to the best of my knowledge, this is the largest 12-volt battery that you can buy in a single battery without paralleling or, you know, hooking batteries up together. But this is an EPOCH battery, 460 watt hours. This is completely topped off. I've got just a little cheap Chinese inverter. It's a 2500 watt inverter that I've already got connected to the battery. If this works out, I am probably going to put this battery in the front of my tongue box and use this instead of my Blue Eddy. But this battery, guys, I've had quite a few batteries throughout the few years. This is probably the smartest battery that I've ever seen. And if it works well, I'm going to buy a Victron inverter, because these EPOCH batteries have a lot of Victron smartness built into it that talks directly to Victron. So that's what all of these cables are for hooking up to inverters, to battery monitors, to shunts. Ton of options if you want to hook everything up together, if you're gonna be using Victron. It does have a monitor that we're gonna be using. It also has Bluetooth, so I'll be able to look in the camper tonight how much juice we're draining. This is gonna be the setup, and again, it weighs 97 pounds. I even have marks on my arm from picking it up and sticking it in my truck. So it is a beast. I'm gonna keep it in the back of the truck with the tailgate open, just to, you know, help with the heat. But the only thing that's gonna be running is gonna be my Zero Breeze. And that thing, max wattage with surge, is around 500, 550 watts. So this 2000 watt inverter should do fine. I'm gonna go ahead and stick it under the shade though, because it's just so incredibly hot. I'm gonna get the camper doors open so we can try to dissipate some of the heat that I incurred on the way up here. It's just even hot to the touch. Let's get that going and then get this battery cut on and get this AC cranking. Luckily, I don't have to unhook the trailer, because I actually just have to raise it up just a hair to get it, that bubble right in the center. Good there. Now, a lot of you guys have actually commented on this, and I 100% agree. but I didn't build this camper. But these are the exhaust ports for my Zero Breeze. I've got the intake, or I'm sorry, I got the outtake coming out, the hot air. Then I've got the intake, which is going to be sucking in fresh air. They're really close together. If I were going to build this camper myself, I would have separated these much more so it's not sucking in the hot exhaust air. So I bought a 4-inch flexible silicone duct that I'm going to hope kind of diverts some of the air coming in from this hot air, and it just, there's nothing to it. It just kind of squeezes in this. So this is going to be my intake now. So hopefully it's sucking in air, fresh air from out here is not going to be sucking in the hot exhaust air. So hopefully that'll help the efficiency of this Zero Breeze, but I'll say that this air conditioner is going to have a heck of a battle today. And there's actually a power button to turn this battery on, which in turn is going to turn this inverter on. And let's see, I'm sitting at 99%. So now let's get the power cord and let's give it a go. On. All right, let's go check to make sure that that Zero Breeze is cutting on. All right, we've got power. It's hard to come through, but we are definitely, that thing is on. We are pushing out hot air and get this thing closed. All right. Well, I guess I've escaped the sun just a bit. I have not put the awning out yet. But you can see behind me, guys, it's insanely windy. I'm nervous about being able to cook dinner and keep a fire going. I got to come up with some plan, some kind of wind shelter for my stove, because we've got white caps on the lake behind me. It's extremely windy, which again is good and a bad thing. But anyway, so battery's working great. The AC is going. I'm still at 99%. I don't know if that's gonna show up here. I'll do a screenshot. Okay, so at least now you guys can see what I'm looking at on the app. So 99%, got 456 amp hours out of 460 amp hours. So hopefully we'll be able to keep this battery going all night and beat this heat. That's kind of the scoop for this trip. I already miss winter. I know there's some, my wife's a summer person. She loves summer. And I guess that's what makes us work out so well together, because we are polar opposites. I would rather it be 20 below zero, and she likes this. Maybe not this. This is a little too hot, but I much prefer cold than this mess. But hey, at least I'm out camping right by the lake. All right, gang, we're just gonna hang out, see what kind of trouble I can get into. Let's do it. right, well, I have pressed my luck too much getting that thing that close to the lake. I'm really surprised I didn't make an oops and drive it straight into that water. I got to admit, these things are fun. We got one for my kid last Christmas, and of course I had to buy one after the fact when I saw it. I think I've showed this to you guys, I don't know, a couple of months ago, and yeah, still have it. And I'll tell you which model I got. It was actually cheaper than what we got my my son, and it's a little bit faster, but his is huge. This one is the what is it? The Omni Terminator. That's going to show up. They're just super fun. When it's this hot outside, not much to do. Figured I'd bring that guy along, kind of kill some time here under the shade. I'm not even putting my awning out. It's so windy. It's not even worth it. And the sun's going behind my camper, so I'm not even going to put that out. Oh, and also, thanks guys for those of you, not a lot. I don't want to sound silly, but I did get questions on if I was okay with all the flooding that happened here in Texas. And fortunately for me and the family, yeah, we're up in North Texas. All of that tragic stuff happened kind of down south, central Texas, south of us. So we were lucky enough to not have any of that stuff hit us. But, you know, of course, it's, man, it's a terrible thing that happened. It happened so fast, and people can't seem to understand how it happens, but it does, man. It's just a flash flood. That whole area is on like a limestone riverbed, and the water does not soak down. So any rain just stays on top of the ground, and it just all culminates pretty much right where it flooded. So thanks for y'all who were asking about me and my family, but we're fine. So you can send all that good vibe and thoughts to the people that actually need it, that are down south of us. But anyway, enough of that spiel. Inside the camper is like 88 degrees. My battery is at, I got to connect Bluetooth, 93% now. I am at 429 amp hours out of 460. I've got a long ways to go until I need to cut this thing off tomorrow. I looked at my thermometer. I think I took a video of it. It was sitting on top of my truck. 120 degrees. Hence why I'm under the shade, not doing too much. So, gang, something eerie is kind of happening right now, but I got some video of it. There's a wave runner out there, middle of the lake, without a rider. A boat just pulled up. I thought it was their wave runner, and then maybe it got, the anchor got loose or something and floated away. But I don't think it's their wave runner. So the boat people are kind of circling around. I'm really hoping that nobody fell off that wave runner, because there is definitely nobody on it. Let's see if we can see what's going on again. You can see, and that wave runner is riderless. Huh, that can't be good. Huh. I don't know, gang. I'll keep you updated. It's kind of weird. Hi, good afternoon. I don't know technically if this is an emergency or not, but I am currently camping at Holiday Campground, and there is a wave runner without a rider. It's a little bit odd seeing a wave runner without a rider out in the middle of the lake. I don't know if it got, if the anchor came loose from shore and it's just drifting. I just wanted to report it. I don't really know what to do. It's still floating. Yeah, there is no one else around it. Well, I don't know if that was the right call. I called 911. I don't know if this is an emergency, but I don't want to be the one to not call for help because that other boat's not even coming around anymore. So I don't know. I guess they gave up. I don't know. This is really weird, but they took my location. I mean, there's no patrol boats on this lake, I don't think. And that wave runner's still drifting way out there. But what kind of freaks me out is the fact that it's so windy and it's so rough out there. I don't know if it's coming through on camera, but there's white caps everywhere. Hopefully there was no rider on it, but I guess I did what I could. Man, what a weird day. Not a good day to be on the lake. So, boat just pulled up to me, full of people. They're towing a wave runner that overturned, completely flooded. They're dragging it behind a boat. They have nothing to do with that other jet ski. I asked if they wanted help. They don't speak English, so we could not communicate very well. They just turned around and took off. They're going about 2 knots into the wind up the lake, towing the wave runner behind them, belly up. So yeah, definitely not a good day to be on the lake. I still have no idea what's going on with that wave runner over there. It went behind an island, so I lost track of it. I did call, you guys saw. I left them my number in case they needed my position when they got out here. They haven't called, so I don't know. Kind of weird. I'm gonna try to figure out some way to cook dinner though, again in this wind, because I think it's time to eat. What time is it? I don't know. It is, what time is it? 6:30. Yeah, it's about time to get some dinner going. I'll probably have to cook under my tailgate here tonight. I get a lot of questions on this box. Where I got it from. So I got it from Academy Sports. It's a Magellan Sportsman box. I keep it under my truck and I can tell that the inside dividers are getting kind of warped, but I think that's probably pretty normal. It's an awesome box, but you get them from Academy. If you have an Academy Sports, or if you know someone that sells the Magellan outdoor stuff, that's where it came from. You guys ever bonded over a knife? I've got a lot of knives. This one has been with me for the longest. I had this sheath custom made a long time ago for it. It is an SE4. I just now started carrying it with me on these trips because I've always been afraid of losing it. And I lost it this weekend, and I spent a day and a half going through my entire house to find this knife, and it ended up being under the mattress inside my camper. It's just one of those things. I don't know. I love it. I love the way it feels, everything about it. And I thought that I lost it. Thought I left it at camp last time. Luckily, didn't happen. But it's an awesome knife. This is the HM, the handle modified version. So it doesn't have that finger grip, which is why I like this one so much. Yeah, so I spent the better half of a day and a half looking for it and found it underneath my mattress. Well, we've cooled down to 94 degrees. Feels much better out here now, below 100. Oh, you guys ever heard of these things? Swedish towels. My wife bought like a 30 pack. They're compressed and dry right now, but if you get these things wet, they turn into like a spongy towel, and they clean up everything. And you just kind of rewash it, but they're called Swedish towels. I was gonna use it, just dip it in the lake, but the lake's so chopped up and murky and silty right now, I'm probably not gonna use it tonight, but I brought it along to kind of clean up all my stuff. We use these at home all the time and they're fantastic, but I think I'm gonna save it until I have a place that has clean water. Pretty sure the chicken is done. I'll try to clean the skillet off a little bit before I put my tortillas on it. It's hard to even concentrate with it being this windy. In fact, I forgot to get a fork for my fruit. It's good. I could probably do without that Louisiana sauce, but it's still pretty good. Still can't figure out what's going on with that wave runner. I don't know if it's a big deal or if it's not a big deal. It's just really weird. All right, gang, I'm gonna put the camera down. Nobody cares to see me eat. And then hopefully it'll be bedtime by then. It's been a long day, I'm tired. So, funny story, DEVOS actually just came out with their own almost exact same setup as this that I kind of built myself with a few different items. They are using a sea sucker mount, so I don't even know the price on it. I'm guessing it's probably around 150 bucks, but don't quote me, but I guarantee you it's nowhere near as cheap as this setup, which is just as sturdy. So if you want to spend 150 bucks, by all means get the DEVOS ones, but this one works just as well and it's a lot cheaper. So if you have a DEVOS light and you want something like this, I'll leave all the parts that I used to build this down in the description below. Whew, guys, it's been a doozy of a day. It has been a weird camping trip. So not only did I don't know what's going on with the missing person, I burnt my hand getting the grate. I thought it was cool down enough, and I picked up the grate to fold that stove together, and it was not, it was not. So I'm gonna have a couple of, I'm sure, pretty big blisters tomorrow. But let's see, kind of give you an update on the EPOCH battery here. We are at 70%. So I think what's gonna happen is tonight when I get in the camper, because my AC's been on rocket mode, full blast mode since we got here to try to cool it down. So when I get in there tonight, I think I'm just gonna put it on standard cool and set it to like 67, 68 to kind of eliminate some of the wattage that's coming out of this battery. But I have used, we're at 322 amp hours out of 460 amp hours. So I've used over, I don't know, 140, 130 amp hours. I'm too tired to do the math right now. But I think we're gonna be okay once I get in there tonight. The last thing I'm gonna do, I didn't download any movies tonight because I brought along my Starlink Mini. But I am gonna be trying to use this little battery that I showed you folks on my other channel a while back. So I'm gonna get this thing cut on, get my tripod set up, and hopefully we'll be able to stream at least a movie, maybe a couple of movies tonight. I'm gonna get this tightened down, and I'm glad I brought this tripod because I can splay the legs out really far, give it a pretty good base. Because I don't know this area very well. I'm probably just gonna put this on top of my tonneau cover, like so. Angle it toward the right satellite, and that should be enough range for me to be able to watch the TV inside. But yeah, I told you folks I would try to do a test on this thing, on this battery, to make sure I can get at least a movie. So that's what we're gonna do tonight. But if it wasn't windy, today would have been absolutely terrible with the heat. Right now it's not too bad. We're at 88 now, so it is cooling down just a hair. But again, it is 8:30-ish, I believe, 8:15. So it better be 88 after 8 o'clock. That's about it for out here tonight. I'm pooped. Well, gang, we're here, obviously. I can't overestimate how good it feels in here. It's 74 degrees in here right now. I can't imagine trying to sleep in this thing without this air conditioner. So the Zero Breeze gets my mark of approval. I've put it through its paces and it's done pretty well. But with that being said, I'm gonna turn off the rocket mode on it to hopefully save some of that EPOCH battery or EPOCH battery, whatever. So yeah, I just put it on standard cooling to 67 degrees. So it's gonna be not use quite as much power all through the night. But oh my gosh, what a night, what a camp. I can't believe I had to call 911. That's a first for me. I'm sure that's going to be some type of clickbaity title, but it's pretty unique and something I've never experienced. So hopefully that thing is just wasn't missing a rider and I don't have to see it on the news tomorrow. But yeah, it was just really weird. So internet's working just fine. I've got it on Netflix. So we'll have to find a good movie for us to watch tonight. For me to watch tonight. What is that? Black Hawk Down. Yeah. I'll figure out something to watch when I get comfortable and lay down. But otherwise, guys, it's I think I'm gonna call it a night, gang. I gotta find a movie to watch, get comfortable, have a good night's rest. So we'll see you in the morning, gang.
Morning. Well, let's see, guys. It is 510. And good news to report on all fronts here. Obviously we still have power. Zero breeze is still running. It's 73 degrees in here this morning, which is a little bit warmer, I guess, than what I like. I normally have this thing set on rocket mode, which keeps the inside of this camper at like 62, 63. The battery kept me running for right now going on about 13 hours and 30 minutes. 13 and a half hours. Now I have not checked the battery. Yeah, we're close, guys. We're sitting at 18%. We're down to 85 amp hours left on that 460 amp hour battery. Used a lot of juice just in a short-ish period of time, 13 hours. That's the only problem with trying to run AC units off grid, is that it uses so much power. But it's doable. You just gotta have a giant battery. I watched a full movie last night. Ended up watching the Adam Project. Seen that like 5 times, but the battery on the Starlink worked for at least the full movie. I probably could have gone further, but I fell asleep, or I cut it off so I could fall asleep. So that worked well. So overall, fairly successful little experiments that we ran. I guess it's time to head outside and make some coffee. It's still really windy, but at least that helps keep some of the bug population down. I've only got a few on the side of the camper this morning. Yeah, normally this thing would be swarming, but let's see, where's the 18%? I'd say that's a win. Oh. Yeah, I think probably by the time we get coffee made and everything put away, that sun should be poking its head up, giving us a little bit of light. I guess it's time to get this battery cut off. We are closing up shop with 17% left off of again 460 amp hour battery, but we are now done. So obviously you can extend that runtime hooking up a charge controller, throwing some solar panels out, running a generator, anything, but I didn't do any of that last night. Obviously, I just straight off the battery to see how long that thing would last. This is kind of worst case scenario, I believe, with it being over 100 degrees, zero shade, my awnings weren't out, running my zero breeze on rocket mode, full blast. So yeah, I'll take it. Nope.